Yes, so this session is gonna be a quick session about sparklines, levels, dials, and gauges. And we're just gonna quickly learn how to set different options within these elements. So let's start with the sparkline. We just drag and drop the sparkline. We can change the size of it. Here we just have a random number. We can change the colors. Here we have a pre-selected colors, but we can add more here, whichever we want, and we'll have them here. And this one I said blue, so let's stick with blue. We click update, and then we can see the change in the sparkline. Next, we can add different values within the same sparkline. We just add another item, and we set the value that we wish to. Let's just have another random number for now. And let's just change it slightly. And change the color to orange. So we can display one or more series within the same sparkline. And we can also change if we want to display them as a solid line, dash, dotted, dash and dot, etc. And we can also change the line width. There we go. Another option that we have here is having a sparkline in which we don't have it as a line, but in which we have it the chart type as an area. So this will show like this. And we can also have it with multiple series as a stacked area. Let me just change the size. We go back here in the cogwheel and change to stacked area. It's for the first one, and then for the second one, we change from line to stacked area. And there we can see it. Let's just change this one to solid as well. And we can, of course, have them mixed, such as having one as an area and another one as a line. And you can just play around with it to make the best combination that suits you and that looks better for your data. Another option that we have within the sparkline options is to have it as a bar. Same, and we use bar. And here we're going to add in the count maybe 10, which would be the number of bars we are displaying. And here we can see if we think that is too much or a bit too crowded, we could have less. Maybe 7. There we go. We also have the option to have it as points. And it would look like this. Let's leave it at bars. And let's do this one for the next one. Let's remove this one. So let's have a single series. There we go. And we can also have them as stacked bars. I'm just gonna add, I think we said 7. And we're gonna change to stack bar, and in this one, stacked bar. There we go. And that is just some examples of what we can do with the sparklines. We can have multiple series. We can do a combination of bars, area, lines, change the lines if we want them solid or that dotted or dashed. So let's save this and move on to the levels. I'm just gonna add a level and change the size. So this would be just, let's pick another color, yeah, purple. So this would be a level, just in here we just have it as a constant value, but if we want to add a tag, we can just go in here and search for the tag that we want to display and then click save. For now, we're just gonna leave it as a fixed value. And we're gonna add another item. This one may be around 35. We're gonna change the color to maybe another blue. Now we have here on the top right how it would look like. For now, this is stacked bars, sort of. But we can have it, or we can change it to a line if we want. And we can also change the thickness of this line, just to have as a mark, for example, if you're surpassing a maximum value, etc. So let's leave it like that. Another option that we have with the levels would be to have them as stacked bars as I showed before. So then we would change this one to bar again. There we have it. We can also change the min and maximum values. Right now they are 0 to 100, but we can change that depending on the value that we want to show. We can also show the values. We can remove or add more decimals. We can have them on bold and change the size. And we can also add a border width to sort of frame our level here. Maybe that can be seen a bit more. And another option that we can have with the levels would be to have them separate as different bars just next to, or different levels next to each other. So for changing that, we're gonna go to format bars, and then we're gonna deselect the stacked bars option. And then we can see how it's gonna look like. And if we like it, we click update. And then we have our two separate bars. And another variant of this would be to have, instead of vertical bars, we can have them horizontal. We go to format bars, and then in the layout, we change it from vertical to horizontal, and then we can display them. And this one makes it looks a little bit better without the value. And these are some examples that we can make with the levels. Of course, you can explore more options, but this is just the basics of how to set initial levels. The next would be a dial. Then we're just gonna drag and drop the dial. We're gonna keep this value of 50. We're just gonna change the color to maybe another blue. Update. And in this one, we can go to format rings. And here we have the start angle and the dial size, the ring thickness and the gap between rings in case you have more than one. For now, the angle starts at 90. We're gonna leave it as it is for now. It is 360, so it goes in a full circle. And we can change the thickness of the ring. And let's just add here we have for now just one item, but we can add more, of course. And let's just add maybe 20. We can also change the color. Let's pick a red. Right now there are just two bars, one on top of the other, or yeah, well, added to each other, sort of. And if we want to have that just as a line, as we did with the level here, we can change in this cogwheel, we can change the type. Instead of slice, we can have it as a line. And then we'll have that reference line there. So just click and update. We can have stacked values, which would be when you have it in a slice. And we can also show the values that we are having. Let's remove the decimals. Update. We can also go to the value and move this to the left so that it's not clashing with the text. There we go. And for the next one, we can have different rings. Let's remove, for example, let's not display the value so they're not in the way. And let's add other items. So put 17 in green and 34 in orange. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the cogwheel again, and we are gonna change the ring. The first two are in the ring 0, so let's change this one to 1. And let's change this one as well to 1. I didn't change the color. Okay, there we go. So we can have up to 3 rings. And we can have stacked values on each of them, or lines as well. Another thing that we can do with the dials is under format rings, you can change where the dial starts to count, let's say, the numbers. Right now it's at 90, so it will start counting from here. So here will be 0, and then it will add from there. We can change this. For example, can have it start at -60. And this one just being 300. And that gives us a different dial, almost a full circle, but not quite. So then we can display the values differently in here. We can maybe change one of these to a line. And we can also show the values. There we go. And the last change that we can do, or well, that we are going to show in this training session, is to have another shape of dial within this format rings. We are going to start at 0 degrees, so it starts counting from here, and then we're going to change the max to 180, so then it will be half a circle. Gonna update, and we're gonna stop showing the values. And there we go. So we have the same dial modified in different options depending on what we want to display or show. And yeah, we can play with them and see what works best for the information that we want to show. Maybe in this one we can show the value as well without decimals. There we go. And for the last part, let's do some examples with the gauge. And this one is similar to the dial, but it looks a little bit different. This is how we start with it. What we can see, it just has a constant value of 50 right now, which is what you see with the tick. In this one, we can change also the min and the maximum values. This is from 0 to 100 for now. And the cool thing about this one is setting the thresholds value. So for example, let's put the first 50. Let's set it in a green. And then the next 25, we're gonna set it to a yellow. We're gonna add another item. Here we're gonna put the last 25 in red. Yeah, that works. So then we can change these values, either fixed or have them as a tag to sort of show how we are doing, like a sort of indicator if the pressure or the temperature is within the green parameters or is reaching the yellow or the red, etc. So that's quite nice. We can also, these are in the thresholds. We can also change the ring. This is as it begins at 0 and at 180. The ring thickness is 5. We can also format the ticks. The number of ticks that we have. The default is 7, but we can have maybe 5. Then we see the change there. Or we can remove them if we think it's too much information in the same place. So let's update this one. And we can also add more tags in here or more measurements, like for example 24, and it would be another tick. Put this in purple, update, and there we have both values because we are displaying them. And another version of this would be to change the degree that it shows. Let's remove this second value. We're gonna go to format ring, and we're gonna set this start angle to -60 and the end of 300 as we did with the dial before. And then we can see again that we have this almost complete circle. Then we're gonna go to format ticks and let's maybe add a few more ticks since we have more space now. And there we go. So this is just some examples of what we can do with this sparkline level styles and gauge. And of course, the limit is within ourselves. And it's really easy to just click and try different options to see what fits best the information that we want to show.